Did you know that common weeds could be the heroes we never knew we had? Alka, Mama Youth Mine, I'm Benny Cosmic, your subconscious, with another addition to a series that I'm calling Decolonize Daily, where we make life in dystopia easier to navigate and ultimately easier to grow away from through the remembering of indigenous knowledge and the cultural frameworks that have and will bring about a less problematic society. This week, now, in order to make this as easy as possible, we decided to dwindle it down to plants that you see every day, and believe me, there's a lot that you don't even think about. And then we break them down to the common benefits for your body, the ecological benefits they have, and any stories and or myths relating to indigenous practices or any myths in general, moving forward from there. So with that context being provided, let's get into the first one. Okay, so the first one that I decided to put on this list was Dandelions, with its Latin name being Taraxacum officinale. Its common benefits are known for its vitamins mostly. It's got vitamin A, C, and K, which helps with your immune system and helping fight off any sort of diseases. Then there's the roots that can be used to help your liver and any sort of digestive trouble that you might be having there. The leaves themselves can be used as a diuretic, which will help your body get rid of any toxic fluids via, where you get rid of them. And it also helps your kidneys strengthen their ability to handle and filter out said toxicities. Now, the ecological benefits are as follows. They're usually popular for, early spring and being popular amongst pollinators because, bees are the ones doing all the hard work out there. And they bring oxygen, more importantly, to the soil, helping get all of that nutrient rich soil and what it has further up to the surface, making it more accessible to other plants. Now, when it comes to the myths, the one that I could find that was most popular was one from the Ojibwe people, and it's a tale of the South Wind, aka Shawandasi. And it's about them falling in love with Golden Girl, aka our dandelion friend, and losing her to the North Wind. Which, dang, how many times have we lost a good woman to the North Wind? Am I right, guys? You guys know what I'm talking about. Let's get to the next one. Next up, we have crabgrass, otherwise known as Digitaria. And the benefits to this one that it has for the human body mostly come from eating it in certain forms, so here they are as follows. Young crabgrass leaves can be used in the same way you would use lettuce for a salad, or you can just eat it straight up for roughage and fiber, really good for your body in that regard. But it also has some anti-inflammatory properties that have been used for things like skin irritation and overall congestion in your face, and when you feel all bloated and puffed up and you just feel uncomfortable, you have that as well. More importantly, the seeds were regarded and revered for their ability to be used for flour, and more importantly, the amount of protein that they could supplement in anyone's diet at a given time using it for that purpose. Moving on to the ecological benefits, it's great ground cover, just in general. I mean, you wouldn't think it the way people treat it now, but it does help prevent the soil from getting too dry and maintaining moisture in the ground or from eroding away in general because of its root system, which is really important. Most people don't think about that, but if dirt doesn't stick together, then a lot of those minerals don't even go into the plant. The plant spends a lot of its energy in its root system just to hold together enough minerals to get water in there so it can actually do its whole process of photosynthesis fully. Just an aside. Moving forward, there are some myths that are associated with crabgrass, and I couldn't really find ones that were indigenous because, we didn't have a lot of myths that carried on over. So, if you are an elder or you know an elder who knows what's up with crabgrass and there's some tales, please comment or let me know, because I was really looking and there is none that is recorded, and we know our traditions are oral, so please get at me if that is the case. I'll move on to the next one. Next up on the list, we have English ivy, otherwise known as Hedera helix. And before I even dive into it, let me just say now that on Turtle Island, it is an invasive species, just like the name of the people, the country it comes from. So, with that being said, I'm just going to tell you, if you are on Turtle Island and you see some English ivy, you just start ripping it out. It's not supposed to be here. All that being said, it does have health benefits for the body. and they are as follows. Traditionally, it's been used to relieve a lot of respiratory issues like coughs and bronchitis. I won't get too much into it because it is the medical field, and I myself am not a medical professional. But it does have similar chemical properties that have been used, like in cough syrup. So the recommendation is, if you are going to go that route, to use it in small doses, as it is a potent medicine. Moving forward from there, it's also packed with a huge amount of antioxidant properties that help kind of slow down the aging process, so to speak. And it can also be used for skincare, which I think those two go hand in hand. Most people try to either make it into a topical paste or like a tea that you can kind of put on your skin. Moving on to the ecological benefits, again, on Turtle Island, it is invasive, right? So if this plant was where it's supposed to be, these would be the benefits that it yields for an environment in which it is not invasive. Stick with me, just saying. Now, they're natural air purifiers, so they're known for absorbing toxins, which is a lot of rhetoric that people use to keep them around in our society on Turtle Island. They're also good for nests for animals, but have also been complained about for, harboring too many pests and giving population booms a thing when it comes to too many rodents. But it can also strengthen the foundation of eroding slopes, which is great when you're on an island of cliff sides that doesn't have a lot of solid soil. But when you're on Turtle Island and all the soil is pretty solid except in, like landslide areas or the desert, it's kind of not necessary. However, again, just so I make it real clear, this is an invasive species, so it's okay to harvest. People will welcome it because when it's on Turtle Island, it causes damage to all the other plants in the ecosystem. It weighs down trees, starves them from sunlight, and ultimately makes it so they don't get enough water, and makes them so heavy that they fall under their own weight. So that's just a few examples of why English ivy is a weed, and actually harvesting it would be beneficial to Turtle Island because its ecological benefits do not serve the purpose when it's not in the proper ecosystem it was intended and evolved to be in. Got it? Cool. Next we have bull thistle, which is called Cirsium vulgare, and this is also an invasive species, so without reiterating myself, of course, same thing applies that applied to English ivy. Now, there are some health benefits to this that we had to find out by cultivating a relationship with this invasive species as an indigenous folks. And here's what it is. You can use the leaves and shoots for salad. It's really good for any sort of vitamins regarding potassium, magnesium, or manganese. And then we also have vitamins A and B. And then you can also use the flowers to make tea, which could be used to help any sort of indigestion, and more so it's, again, a diuretic to help you clear out your system. You can also steam them to help with any sort of muscle stiffness and rheumatic issues. This is also leading to it as being used as a salve and or topical solution for treating wounds and or muscle pains and sores, things of the like. Now moving on to the ecological benefits. It's another invasive species, so go crazy on harvesting these. Again, just to reiterate that message, real drive it home there. And it's popular mostly with birds and pollinators, and the roots aid in the soil's integrity. Outside of that, bull thistle really is just, it's not supposed to be here. It could be other places, but it doesn't work here. Now I saved the best for last, just because in my eyes it's the best because I'm cultivating a relationship and I have some real life experience with it, and it's just a gorgeous plant. It's called Fireweed, otherwise known as Chamarion angustufolium. And its benefits to the body are so many. Honestly, it can have its own video on its own. So here's just the brief talking points of this amazing plant. Now, the leaves can be used because it has all of the vitamins. It has literally all of the vitamins, all of the letters. You can use it for tea. I just put vitamin rich tea because the list was just so long. I was like, let me save my hand some issues. Traditionally, it's been used to treat gastrointestinal issues and skin conditions, as you can probably see a trend there. But it also boosts your immune system and slows the aging process with its antioxidant nature. And not to mention its benefits for your prostate health, and it stops your skin cells in that area from proliferating, which I hear is a real big issue for some folks. So if you have that issue, maybe fireweed might be the thing for you. Now, moving on to the ecological benefits, which I thought was really cool, is the idea that the seeds are released in high heat settings, causing it to bloom after things like wildfires or bomb explosions, like in World War II when the Brits got exploded so much by the Germans that they started calling it bombweed, because whenever the bombings would stop, the flower, fireweed, would pop up, which is why it also has maintained a lot of cultural significance in the myths I'm going to tell you about in just a second. More importantly, it's helped maintain a lot of the nutrients that get lost because of the, if a wildfire happens, a lot of other plants get destroyed, but this one's the first to pop up. Then it helps provide ground cover and give extra nutrients because it is so nutrient heavy with the vitamins it provides to the surrounding ecosystem, which is just beautiful. Shout out creator for that one. Now, the myths associated with it, there was a couple of them. So the first one I thought was more prevalent to bring up was the one by the Tingdinget tribe, and it's a story about Asin Ma, or the first woman, who essentially wove a blanket from fireweed fibers, and she took it to the four corners of the earth, real mystic like, and used the blanket to cover the earth, and sewed songs into the blanket that would ease the pain of Mother Earth as she gave birth to each and every individual animal. That is an awesome story, right? Another tale from our people is a tale of a young woman who was in love with a man that got kidnapped by, some colonizers, and she went to go save him. And the way she went to save him was she started a fire near their camp on the opposite side of the camp. And while they were all distracted trying to put out this fire, she went to go save her man because he was wounded and he couldn't walk by himself. So she's like helping him run. And as she's helping him run, people realize what the plan was. The colonizers start chasing after the woman and her wounded man. And you know what happens? The Great Spirit takes pity on the lovers, and he decides that, alright, well, as she's running, every footstep she took, fire would shoot out from the back of her feet, causing fires that would allow them to escape the colonizers. The next day and the following days after, fireweeds would pop up wherever she stepped as a symbol of their love. So yeah, it's a really great plant. It's beautiful. Tastes pretty good. I'd say like a cucumber with a little bit of like horseradish kind of spiciness to it. Yeah. But yeah, this has been Decolonize Daily. Your guy, Benny Cosmic, your subconscious. If you like this, share it. If you like what I do, let me know. And if you want to support, just ask me how. We'll figure it out. We're trying to make this the thing we do for a living. So appreciate you. And if you got something out of this, that's all that matters. Peace.